Hi guys, Dorota Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator here, and today I've got prepare another beautiful design for you. Have a preview of it in here. Absolutely amazing, and I hope you really enjoy learning it. If you do, let me know in the comments below, as I'm really looking forward to reading them all. Let's start. I've got another cool spring summer design for you, and we will do some background with 198. So just a drop of it. And then I do really love this color, so 234. You can be kind of messy with it because we want to only give it like a very pastel-y look to it. So I've got my sponge and I'm just dabbing it in. I'm not trying to do the ombre or anything, I'm just kind of dyeing the background a little bit. So you'll paint the client nails white and then just dab it in with the sponge. If you start getting a wee bits and pieces of the dirt or fluff, just remove it on the form. Okay, so this part is done and we can move on into the next part. So I'm going to pick up the colors which we will use, and this will be some yellow, and that's at 233. The other yellow which we have used, so that's 198. I also want a greenish, pastel greenish color, and that's 148. The 234, that's so nice. Let's do some pink. That's 235, and that's our main color which we will use for this design. So I'm just putting a drop more of it. Then we need some darker pink, so that's 200. And a drop of the black one as well, so that's 185. And let's start painting this design. Okay, so I'm going to use the D-liner brush, and we will paint the inside of the flower first. So I want to go with this yellow and some green. So I'm kind of mixing those two colors together. Make it quite irregular to start with. Clean the brush and then let's pick the pink, but I'm putting a drop of those darker pink in there. And I'm also scooping that drop of the orange. And now we are going to paint those petals. So give it a wiggle to your brush and then just drag it. Okay, and you can see it, we've got all those different colors coming through it. In some places you can leave the gap, in other places do not leave the gap, just so it isn't too regular with the shape, because the flowers aren't 100% exactly the same. And the petals which are on the bottom. Okay, straight away before you cure it, we are going to dip into those darker color. And I'm just going to separate the petals, like kind of give them a little bit of color. We'll just keep brushing it to the top. Okay, and then once you're happy, give it a cure. We will also paint a similar flower in there. Just more on the top this time. And I'm picking up the darker one. But you can see that there is some orange going through it as well. And then give it a cure. This one I'm going to actually make it more pigmented, and we'll do some crystal application there. So just the product, I've got it in there. And let's move on into the next part of this design. So using a top coat, we are going to shade it a little bit more. So top coat and those darker color. Try to do the lines into the same direction. Okay, so lots of little lines. And then give it a flash cure. We do this step on here as well. You can even place it on the bottom of the petal, and then from the bottom of the petal you can just drag it down. Don't do it on all of them, leave some empty. And the more outside you go, the lighter the fading should be. And then cure it. Okay, and this one we are going to play with some crystals. So for crystals application, I'm using a drop of the base gel. So I've got the base gel, and they last ages, like with the base gel. That's how I've got my crystals secured. They're quite old. I need to replace them soon as well. And some old brush. And I want to put the crystals in this corner there. I've got some recycled crystals. I actually like to use the recycled crystals for the designs on the tips. I want some yellow in there. I don't have many of the yellow crystals, but I've got a few of them like this, so I'm going to use all of them I've got. I'm just putting them totally random, because sometimes random crystals application can be nice too. Okay, and then give it a flash cure. Let's move on into a part number 2. So now we are going to use the black and the top coat. So top coat and a drop of the black. This is going to be only a tiny wee drop of the black. And we are outlining the flower. Don't make it too regular. And then black with the top coat. Very little, you have to work very carefully with your black. And so keep doing those little lines. My granny had this type of flowers in the garden always. I have no clue how they called in English. Okay, and then give it a cure. Same in here. We are doing less black on the top. And give it a cure. Okay, next part. So clean my brush and then we are going to swap for some white. Okay, so some white. And the dotting tool. Let's add some white dots. Also, you can mix your yellow with the drop of the black. And do couple dots in a darker color. Ideally, the old, like I like to use old brushes for the dots. I find that I'm more precise with it. And on the bottom, you can go even darker. Give it a flash cure. So some white and some darker color through it. The more on the bottom you are, the darker you can go. And then the more on the top, the lighter you want to be. So it looks like a pollen. Okay, after it is done, let's take it out and let's work on some more shadows. So I'm going to use this color, the orangey and the pinky one, actually, with the drop of the black. Because I want to put some shadow to separate the petals. Okay, so this petal which is on the top is giving a shadow to the one on the bottom. And then give some detail to the petal. Lots of top coat now, and we are going to blend those wee lines, the black lines. So lots of top coat now. Like there is hardly any paint in there. We are really just softening the lines. Just so it looks more real. Black, couple tiny sweet dots, and white. Give it also a couple yellow ones, just to break this down, and give it a cure. So break it down, add some detail on the petal, same like the other one, and blend the black a little bit. Kind of like a smudge it. Give it a cure. Let's do crystals. Crystals, where are you? So here I'm going to do a base gel. And in all those empty spaces, we will put some caviar beads. Totally random. This is the quickest caviar bead application ever. So don't be fussy, just like honestly, whichever way you grab them. So it is just to soften the crystals. Now I actually remembered I had some pink ones as well. Okay, that's plenty. And then give it a cure. Okay, let's finish this flower. So now I want to put some crystals in there as well. Just a wee tiny one. Just so everything goes together. And because I have not much of the crystals there, I'm just going to go straight with those caviar beads so I can top coat finally this design and move on into the next step. Usually it's easier if you cure it, the crystals first, and then apply the caviar beads. I just want to show you that even if they place randomly, like and quickly, they can look quite nice and pretty too. Give it a cure. This one is ready, so top coat over it. Now I'm going to apply the top coat over the caviar beads, the ones which I can catch, but not on the crystals. This is the usual way I'm doing. And what I love about it, when the caviar beads are around the crystals are not catchy. And I find it like they can last even longer, the crystals, even on the problematic clients. Okay, and then a couple more in there, just so we've got the design flowing, like from one nail to the other. I think it's a really nice and pretty design for like this time of the year. And here for a change, I'm going to use all the old crystals. Which is quite nice because you don't want to waste any. And then just some random caviar beads. I have cleaned the brush because I felt like I've got too much base in there, and then the crystal sticks in too much to the base rather than to the tip. So your tool always should be drier than the surface you want to place the caviar beads on. Okay, that's plenty. Give it a cure, and let's move on into the last step just to make it nice and pretty. Okay, this one. Oh, come on. Always on the end. That's the one I'm searching for. Okay, so top coat over it, because the next part is going to be a little bit 3D. I really like to paint the flowers those kind of way. So apply the top coat again easily over the caviar beads, but not on the crystals. It looks okay like this, but it feels like it's not finished, the design. Okay, and then give it a cure. Okay, and then we have to top coat the last tip as well. So top coat. And again, it looks quite okay, but we need to finish it with the detail. Give it a cure. Okay, close the crystals so I don't drop them, especially the caviar beads, like you don't want to mess with them. But if you do, use the magnet for the cat eye and they will just get into the magnet. Like that's really easy way to clean it. So we've got this one ready. It looks nice as a design on its own, to be honest. Like I can see the nails like being done this way. And then this one is ready as well, so we can start adding the detail. For the detail, I'm using the white French gel because it don't need to be necessarily top coated. Okay, so nice and thin on my brush, and then we are going to do all the detail. Like very thin, you want to work very, very thin. So now I'm shaping my petals and they are going to be much, much nicer. Okay, you want to drag them inside. Do not outline all of them. The ones which are on the back, so like this lighter one is on the back. I don't want to outline it too much. You can go as far as reaching the yellow inside. Marigolds? Oh gosh, I don't know, like I don't know the English name of this type of flowers, but as I say, my granny had them. I love actually gardening, like it makes me feel really relaxed. But those kind of painting like is quite nice and relaxing as well. Okay, and then I'm not the fan of using my brush for this part, but I want the dots to be extremely precise, so I'm just doing some dots with my brush. Usually making dots with your brush can break your brush, so be very slow when doing so. And then give it a cure. So this flower is finished, really nice and beautiful. Let's do the other one. So here I've got larger petals, so I can kind of like do more detail. Okay, another one in here. Just because those petals have been much bigger. So basically I'm doing all my shapes now with the brush. Okay. I love those kind of techniques, like, because with this, you're starting with the splash of the color and then you're finishing off with such as beautiful designs. Remember, leave some empty. But always try to follow the shape of this splash you have done it. So this petal was going more onto the side, and that's the way I'm outlining it. And the last one. I'm also trying to don't hide those darker place which we have created, because then what was the point of painting it? So I keep this in, and this petal is underneath, so I cannot go over this one. Okay, and then couple of the dots, so you can see it how much it did change the design after adding those white. And I love it, like using the paint on French, because it can be used without of top coat. Just couple dots. And then give it a cure, and then I can show you the final results of this design. I think it will look really awesome on the client, and you could do it just on the one nail, like in a corner on the top part or on the side from the free edge as well. Absolutely amazing. Okay, this one is ready. Now the gel has hardly any inhibition layer, but there is some, so I'm always using a UV cleanser just to give it a wipe and remove those inhibition layer. And it has those texture I want to show you guys, maybe when the camera is zoom in. So it looks kind of like a bit of the 3D because of it, and I love it. I use that also for like a shells designs or anything which has the those raised kind of look. Okay, and this one is ready as well. Let's remove those inhibition layer. And then I can show you. It looks so pretty, actually. Really love these colors, like for this time of the year, you know. So absolutely amazing set, and I'm sure your clients would love it for this time of the year. I hope you have really enjoyed watching this tutorial. You have learned something new as well. And if you did, hit the share button so the other can see it as well. I'm sending you lots of glittery hugs.